We recording.
Well,
So what were some of the challenges with being a single parent?
well, I'm a single parent of two children, and it wasn't hard at first. It just came to kind of natural because I was around a lot of strong women in my teenage years, like Tamika's mother and aunties and things like that. But it didn't get difficult until my kids were like in high school, when I saw that I needed the other absent parent there. But other than that, I felt it wasn't hard at first. It made me want to get out, do things, make sure that I didn't have to rely on the system or somebody else taking care of my responsibility. So it wasn't hard. It didn't get hard until high school.
Okay. So for me, I just remember I had my child in high school. Had my child in high school, and I just had to really take responsibility as a parent. I still partied, but I made sure I went to school, I went to college, and I had a job full time. But it was hard getting on buses. Trying to go to school, still trying to hang out with all of you guys. It was rough, and sometimes I think about that I failed because I didn't put all the time and effort that I should have, that children deserve. A lot of times we're young, we have children, but we haven't finished living ourselves. And we still want to party, we still want to do so much, and we leave our children with our parents or other people. But the wise and responsible thing to do is to take care, and you got to make sacrifices as a parent. You have to make sacrifices and put your own wants and needs aside and to take care of your children and do we had them, so we have to do everything that we can. They're entitled to living good and the extracurricular activities. My daughter, fortunate, she was able to travel to Australia and New Zealand, but it was a struggle trying to raise that money, and but they deserve these things. So single parenting was definitely a struggle for me.
Okay, well, for me, I have one daughter, and I didn't find it extremely hard to raise her because I knew I had to do what I had to do to basically raise her.
So support systems.
Right, and I had support systems in place, but along with that, I did, have to work two jobs, whereas I guess the struggle came in as kind of like living paycheck to paycheck. I guess that would be what the struggle was. But I did provide for her. We had our own place. She didn't need or want anything, and she did have her dad in her life, but with that, I can honestly say her dad did not have much sacrifice with him. So I think with parents, it's, okay, my daughter needs this. So it's like, what can I do to get it? I have to go out, I have to work two jobs and make sure she have it. Whereas with her dad, it's, I don't have it, and that's it. It's no sacrifice with it. It's not, going the extra step to trying to get it. So that's what made me work harder to not be on welfare and provide for my daughter. So I guess if we're going to talk about a struggle, it was just the struggle of just working so hard, always, just being tired all the time, and just having to do things alone. But other than that, I love my daughter. And just to say to the people out there, if you do have a child and you're young, it's not the end of the world. I do recommend you be married and, just build that family bond before you do it, just so that you can have that support of raising your child. But it's not the end of the world, and you can do it, and you can support your child and live a wonderful life.
Okay, I would have to say my struggle would be two things. My grandfather passed the year that my daughter was born, and my grandfather was a pastor who founded a church, which means he had a whole congregation of people following him. And my struggle was being a young mother being pregnant at the age of 20 and worrying about what people would think about him because his only grandchild got pregnant out of wedlock. Going further on down the line, I would have to say my second struggle is not really getting to know who my daughter's father was before I got into that situation. My daughter is now getting ready to go to high school, and it's a challenge not knowing, the roots of her other side of her family, her not spending time with them, and I do everything in my power to provide and protect for my daughter. However, I cannot be the man, and there's so many men out here who take care of their girls, and I just can't fill that void for her. So the struggle is being that one parent, just trying to provide and protect for her and let her know, how she's supposed to be treated growing into her years as being a young lady. I'm thankful to have my family, my grandmother, my mom, my aunts, my good friends, more like sisters who are older than me, who I've watched, who've paved the way for me. But I think those would have to be two of my struggles. And the one thing I will say is my grandfather never looked at me different. And even though he pastored this church, it was never like he kept anything hidden. It was like he, regardless, he was still proud of me. And I just had to work hard, and that's what I have to continue to do for the next couple of years until she's an adult.
So I just wanted to add to that. We talk about the financial struggles we have, but I'm glad that you brought up like emotional. It's being there, being the other parent. There's been many nights that I hurt because I can't emotionally be there for them. There's a father's love is different. It's the things that we can't provide. So that emotional struggle within your children, you tend to hurt. So that's kind of one of the reasons why I wrote this book. It's like I really want to encourage people to think about the people that you're getting involved with. A lot of times we have children with people and then we don't like them anymore. We can't stand them, and we don't think about 10 years from now. When we have these conversations with these guys, before we lay down with them, we have to see where their vision is. See if we fit into their vision, if they fit into our vision. Like I said, 10, 20 years now, like, children still need to be taken care of after 18, They have to go to college, with the economy the way there is, it's hard to get a job, you still have to provide. And it's, I just want to encourage, because I think I talk about in this book that I met some young girls, like 14, and being a mentor to young girls, they express they want to have children, someone they love, but they don't know the realities of it, like all that it entails. There's a lot, and to properly raise a child, there's sacrifices, and we have to really consider these things before we lay down with somebody.
Sometimes people young men and women make the wrong decision because of the cycle that their parents lived, and so forth and so on. You have parents that, okay, I live right here, and then my aunt lived 2 buildings down, and and they glorify what you see outside. The guys in the street in the nice cars, the guy looking fly at the club, and you're not getting to know what's behind what you see. And then you think, oh, if I have a baby, my baby gonna dress fly, he gonna look good, I'm gonna be fly because this my man. You don't think about life insurance for your kid, health insurance for your kid, the things behind the monetary things that is going to come if you're dealing with this guy. You don't know if he can read a damn book. but he look good, you know what I'm saying? And you're like, oh, this gonna be my guy, and if I have a baby with him, he gonna take care of it. You don't know if he got 3 kids on the way or anything. You haven't gotten to know if this is where he really lives. Or, you have to get to know the person, and you have to express it. You have to know if he respects his mother, then he gonna respect you. If he don't respect his mother, run. You gotta know if he fears somebody. If he got fear for God, he know if he deal with you hurting you, it's like hurting and disrespecting him. So you have to be mindful of who you're dealing with. You have to. And if you deal with the person and then you grow up and you get to become a woman and you look back and you're like, oh, if I could change anything, I don't regret my children, but I would have gotten to know this person a little more. I would have got myself in a situation where I don't have to go in the system. I can, when my child is born, I got a support system that's going to maintain and help me when I feel like I'm cracking. Because having a child and not having a father there leads into depression, stress, all type of things. Because you no longer can live that life that you lived before you had that child.
Exactly.
So, I mean, it's real having a kid and not taking the proper steps.
Right. And I talk about also in this book of getting to know that person and getting to know their family. I know there's situations where this family, their house is unkept, but this person has to send their child there. They never got to know this family first. But they have to send their child over there, and there's no way around it because the court is going to order you to let this other parent have visitation, and you have to send the child there. So, I mean, it's so many things that comes along with the relationships. We have to start making better choices in our relationships.
And one last thing I think about you mentoring the younger girls, I find that a lot of younger girls say they want kids because there is something missing within them. So hopefully reaching out to mentor these young women will let them know that that void will not be filled by having a baby, because it's not as easy as it seems. There's something missing and they're looking for love, so they want to have babies so that they can have something to love. And that's the issue. Once again, it goes back to being a single mom where the father is not there, and you can do 99% of everything you want to do for your child, but you can still not be that father. And that 1% can go into a 14 or 15-year-old who feels like, well, my father's not here, he's with another family, or he just, doesn't care, or he doesn't have a job, or this is more important. And they feel like they want something to love. So I think that's a good idea, mentoring the young women and letting them know that there's other ways to fill that void besides going out here and having a baby. That if you're 14 or 15, you can get a